Hey, football fans, welcome back to another episode of Lions Latest, the show where we gather around to talk about the greatest team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions. I'm your host, Bryan Hanes, and we have some updates from the game on Sunday against the Browns to talk about, so let's jump straight into the video. But first, oh my gosh, there's not a gray sheet behind me anymore, guys. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. We got these cool shelves. I'm gonna start filling stuff with. We got Ozzy, Batman, David Price, some ornaments, some sand from Old Tiger Stadium, football, this thing. So we're gonna start filling them up. We're gonna start filling up the shelves pretty quickly. If there's anything in specific that you guys think would look good back there, let me know right now down in the comments. Helmets, footballs, memorabilia, stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think would look good on these shelves. They got the lights on them too. I think they're pretty sweet. Let me know what you guys think. I'm glad that it's not a sheet anymore. We're going to start off with our first topic, though. We're just reviewing the game against the Browns. This one to me was a we got it. We got it in the bag kind of game, right? What I didn't anticipate was that the Browns defense was going to be as good as advertised and it was going to freak me out for the first half. So we did end up beating the Browns 34-10. The Lions defense held the Browns to just 10 points and 249 total yards, which was below their season averages, led by defensive end Aiden Hutchinson, who recorded 2 sacks and a forced fumble. Detroit constantly pressured this Browns offense and didn't really allow them to get anything going after that first drive. The Lions also secured 2 interceptions off of Flacco and forced that fumble. After the Browns scored on their opening drive, the Lions only gave up a field goal for the rest of the game. So defensively, we looked really good too. It was just more of not giving them good field position. This was really a game of field position. We saw Dan Campbell go for fourth down a lot less in this game, and I think a big part of it was we're not worried about their offense. We don't have to worry about keeping their offense off the field. They're going to make mistakes on their own. We just didn't want to give their offense good field position and give them free scoring abilities with how good and how efficient their defense was operating. And our offense didn't get going right away. Myles Garrett did a really good job of applying pressure to nearly every single play, especially when we threw a tight end on him to block. He was just shrugging off Sam Laporte or Brock Wright, and he was getting to Jared Goff very quickly. We did especially good, though, on the defensive side of the ball, like I said, despite some early penalties for pass interference holding and some blown coverage stuff every now and then. Our pressure by Hutch, Pat O'Connor, and Al-Qadim Muhammad was so effective. It kept the offense on their feet, moving, had to constantly make decisions, move outside the pocket, which wasn't ideal for veteran player Joe Flacco. So we definitely put him in a very uncomfortable position, and that was really good on our defense. Rookie running back Quinshon Judkins at first looked like he was about to have a crazy game, but the Lions defensive line did a good job and did what they had preached they were able to do all offseason. Spearheaded by Aiden Hutchinson, they consistently pressured the Browns O-line. The Browns averaged a measly 0.03 rushing yards before contact per rush, highlighting how well Detroit's defensive front disrupted plays in the backfield like we were all hoping they would in the preseason, right? With all these guys we picked up, we drafted. It just kind of seemed like this was going to be our big strength on defense. The linebackers, which for this game were Jack Campbell, Anzalone, Derek Barnes, played a crucial role in stopping the run as well, showing excellent recognition on plays, filling gaps, and making crucial tackles. Jack Campbell, one in particular, who I knew was going to be great for our running defense this season, had a strong performance with 11 tackles, including one for a loss on the running back in the backfield. And while Browns running back Quinshon Judkins did end up gaining 81 yards off of 21 carries, none of his runs ever exceeded 11 yards. The Lions defense ensured that if they were going to run the ball, Judkins was going to have to work extremely hard for every single yard he was going to get, and we didn't allow him to break free for any long gains. I think a big part of why we kept this game so out of reach for them was, they had a few drops. Jerry Jeudy had a big drop. Some of their players were making mistakes, obviously, but we did a great job at preventing explosive plays. It was all under stuff. We kept everything under us. So yeah, sure, they checked down, they moved down the field, but then, you let a veteran quarterback on a not so great offense out there for so long, they're bound to make a mistake once in a while, and that was in a sack that caused them to kick a field goal or punt. That was in forcing a pass that ended up getting intercepted, right? We did a really good job of keeping everything in front of us this game. The only bad part of this game that I can take away is that we suffered 2 injuries on our starting quarterbacks, which is like, here we go, right? Terry Arnold suffered a shoulder injury, And I don't want to say anything mean about Terrion, but he wasn't really playing any good anyways. Meek Robertson came in and did a great job at outside corner, so I hope he gets better, but I'm definitely not too worried about him being gone. And DJ Reed, who I am worried about being gone, suffered a hamstring injury. Their status for future games is currently unknown. I'm sure we'll know more by the end of this week, but I guess that's the really only bad thing is that we did suffer some injuries beating the Browns. So it's like, oh gosh, it's one of those games where I wasn't even that nervous about the game, right? At the beginning, yeah, I was a little nervous. They came out, they scored on their first drive, and that's something we've allowed every team to do against us to score on their first drive. But then we locked in for the rest of the game. It was very exciting to watch. Special teams did a great job. Every phase of the game did really good in this game. Good game to watch. Good Sunday ball. Let me know what you guys think. Did I miss anything important? I and you're probably thinking, yeah, Khalif Raymond. We'll get to that in just a second. But that's my thoughts on the game. I think it was good. I think we did good, really good defensively, and we were able to get things going offensively when we were given the right opportunities and made the right reads. So, what were some players that stood out? Who made this game happen? Well, let's first start off with Khalif Raymond. Give him his flowers. Khalif Raymond made me so happy this game. I was getting to the part where all they needed was a touchdown to make it a one-score game, and there was plenty of time left on the clock for them to get a stop and go down and do it again. I was starting to get really nervous. And then Khalif Raymond returned a punt for 65 yards in the fourth quarter and effectively just put the game away right there. I was sitting on my couch. I remember he got it and he made that first cut inside off the sideline. And was like, go, leave. And when I saw him cut out into open field, I just put my hands up. I'm like, that is what we needed. This was a big time play. And while you're thinking, okay, it's one return touchdown, how does that make him like player of the game? It was when we needed it the most, and it came out of nowhere. And it's like that is a big time play. That is a play you make when you know we got to do something here to get momentum back on our side to get a score on the board. And he just did it. He just popped one off, gave the ball to his wife, gave her a kiss, got the girl. Hey, good job, Khalif Raymond. Aiden Hutchinson, 2 sacks, 4 combined tackles, and a forced fumble. While the stats, of course, aren't going to be insane, like, 100 yards or whatever. His ability to force pressure and force the O-line to focus on him for most of this game, allowed so many opportunities for the other guys on that line. And we say that in most games. But what was crazy about this was it wasn't just that. He was getting a hand on Joe Flacco. He was hitting Joe Flacco right after the ball came out, like almost every time. And for me, it's like if Joe Flacco's getting a hit every time they pass the ball, Joe Flacco's not going to want to pass the ball very much. He did his job. He made Joe Flacco have to worry about him on every play. And that allows more stuff to open up. That allows pressure. So now he's forcing stuff downfield. I think the pressure from Hutch in this game was insane. He was a one-man army. I seriously think he's off to an insane year. Get some more sacks, have that other 5-sack game, Hutch, and you will be back in the conversation, brother. DJ Reed honestly deserves a player of the game award here. Made huge plays, but more importantly, stayed our lockdown guy for the entirety of this game. 4 combined tackles, so nobody wanted to throw his way. 1 for a diving interception that he returned to the red zone for a scoring opportunity for the offense. These are the kind of moments we picked him up for, right? This tight man coverage. We picked him up to make these big time plays in our secondary, which we were honestly lacking for a long time. Our safeties could make plays, but we really needed those corners to stick on these receivers like glue. And so far, that's what we've gotten from DJ Reed as advertised. Tight man coverage corner, something we've been transitioning to more and more on our defense, and getting a guy like him was an absolutely great pickup by Brad Holmes and the rest of that front office. So I really like what he did. Obviously that interception is going to be great, but the fact that he just locked people down all game to me kind of gives me that peace of mind in the secondary. Us Lions fans don't get very much. Very excited about him. Good job, DJ Reed. And finally, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, I feel like he's on this list every week at this point. 7 catches for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. Clutch, available, strong. What else do you want in a wide receiver one, guys? For a pocket passer especially. I mean, he fits the role perfectly. He sealed the game. We said Khalif Raymond sealed the game, but this was really the dagger. It didn't even matter anymore with his second touchdown in the fourth, and he was consistently converting on second or third down. I mean, he's just always open. Strongest hands in the league. What a weapon. He had 7 targets, caught all 7 of them. I mean, Jared Goff, it's got to be so nice for a pocket passer who can throw the ball in his direction and just know he's going to come down with it 99.99999% of the time. Such a good guy. And having a guy like him on the offense makes me realize we're never out of a game. It's so good to have him. We're going to talk a little bit about more him in this next topic real quick. Did I miss it? But first, did I miss anybody on this shout out list? Do you think so? Let me know what you guys think. JMO, starting about fantasy points. JMO, had a shorter game. He's kind of had a few shorter games. He only had 5.7 points. Could have been a lot more, though. He did have 2 drops for huge yards and 1 touchdown. And Goff did try fitting him a couple of passes that were just slightly over his head, seemed a little forced, trying to just get it to JMO. He had 8 targets, but only 2 receptions, no touchdowns. Honestly, some of this was on JMO, but we're just going to have to see next week, see if Goff can fit more of those deep balls. But to be fair, he had 2 that were right in his arms, and he did drop them. Let's see what you can do next week, JMO. I know fantasy owners aren't very happy about you in your flex spot right now. Jahmyr Gibbs had a solid game. Honestly, not what fantasy managers want from him, though. We want to get him in the 20-point range every single game. 17.7 points is fine. I mean, it's a good stat. It's going to win games for you in fantasy. But we're honestly just expecting more from him after all the hype, right? 91 rushing yards, 2 catches, and a touchdown. PPR is cool. Got a touchdown. That obviously was a huge reason to why he was even up in the 17.7 range. And the 91 rushing yards is always going to be good. If he gets in that range for rushing yards every game, that's perfect. Another touchdown would be great. Some more receptions would be great. But we'll have to see. This was a really good defense, and they could just be a little inconsistency. Still able to get 17.7 points on a okay game. So I'd say he's fine. St. Brown, what we were just talking about, 26 points. It's his 3rd consecutive week going over 20 on 7 receptions for 70 yards. Didn't drop a target like we mentioned. 2 touchdowns helped, but what a reliable fantasy wide receiver. He's Goff's favorite target, and with him being so reliable, such good strong hands, insane route running, you know he's getting at least 1 touchdown a game at this point. If they get into that 10-yard line on the goal line range, you know it's going to be an out route or a little fade, something like that, a zig route. He's just so dangerous in these little tight, where usually the coverage gets tighter, it gets harder. He just starts to get better, it feels like, and it's really cool to see what he can do. Really glad I picked him up in one of my leagues. And finally, Lions defense. They had like 20 points. They were awesome this week. I'm really glad I kept them on my lineup. Bunch of sacks, forced fumble, 2 interceptions, having them go 3 and out a whole bunch, on a missed field goal, and the return by Khalil Freeman on special teams counts as a defensive touchdown. Thanks, Lions defense. You helped me win a league. I really appreciate it. I mean, a lot of people had them kind of overrated in the draft stock, right? But the Lions defense has been fantastic, and we got weapons who just make those points appear. So I've really liked what we've seen so far. Let me know what you guys think. Anyone fantasy-wise I missed? I know Goff didn't have a fantastic game. I know Monty didn't have a great game either. Laporta was all right. He had like 6 points. But let me know if there's anyone specific I missed. Lastly, we're going to quickly talk about some viewer comments. Oh, are we? There we go. We're discussing some viewer comments. Starting off with Commando Witty. Commando Witty says, the game against the Ravens showcased who the Lions are. This game shut all the doubters up. I myself was worried about this game. Yeah, so was I. Don't worry. The defense struggled the first week, and trying to prove anything against the Bears meant nothing, being that they are a very good team. The Lions offense was unmatched and left to do whatever they pleased this game. Not only did we march the ball down from our own 1.5-yard line, yeah, that was pretty crazy, but we did it against nearly twice. It's true, we did. A 95-plus yard drive without a turnover is insane. The defense was pure gold this game as well, not allowing a sack while sacking Lamar 7 times. Let's not forget how we stopped their drive 4 times from our own 5-yard line. This was so refreshing compared to how devastated our defense was in the red zone last year. I totally agree. This was a big showcase game. This was a big who really are the Lions this year kind of game. And man, we pulled out all the stops for this game. The 7 sacks, it's a huge message. If you're tying the Steelers, division rivals, for the most sacks on a guy like Lamar Jackson a game, you're doing something right, or their O-line's doing something wrong, or it's a little bit of both. And yeah, I feel like the Bears game didn't really give us the confidence we needed going into like the rest of the season, being able to, all right, we beat the Bears. Cool. They're a division rival. Cool, we beat them. But it wasn't like they were this high tier, high caliber team already established, right? Um, yeah, getting out of our own end zone twice, one with a crazy run from Monty and one just driving down the field, definitely showcases what kind of offense we still have. I totally agree with what you're saying here, and I am fired up for the rest of this season. Thank you so much for your comment, Commando Woody. I do appreciate it. Finally, Stephen Williams says, CJ Gardner-Johnson is too divisive. We don't need someone who wants to undermine the coaching staff or the head coach. Yeah, and there were some comments under this too that were like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he even talked crap about Detroit when he left, and he did. I don't see this. This one's not going to happen, guys. I'd be very, very surprised if it happened, and we'd have to be in a very desperate situation to have to sign someone like him, especially with our history. And I don't even know if he'd want to sign with us, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, we don't need someone like that. And I think that really speaks to the culture we have right now, the kind of team we have. We have a really, really, really good group of guys. Do we have some troublemakers? Absolutely. Every team's going to have some troublemakers. But for the most part, we have an outstanding, great group of gentlemen who play the game at a high level, and just being able to be like, cool, my team aren't a bunch of jerks who also play great. It's a great feeling as a fan. And it just makes me confident going into the game that everyone's going to have each other's backs, and it's going to really be a team played game. I totally agree with what you're saying here, Stephen Williams. Let me know how to pronounce your name in the comments, because I've been unsure for a couple weeks now. But yeah, very, very cool, and I don't think we're going to get him. So you're absolutely right there. With that being said, we are out of time today. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Lions Latest. If you made it to this point in the video, tell me who you thought was the best player for the Lions on Sunday. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Also, again, tell me what you want on these shells. What would look cool? And what does it look okay already? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really excited about these. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, smash the bell so you never miss a video here. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you guys in the next video.